What's going on, guys? TKD1 to the review, and today the music industry has been completely all about More Life as of late. We all know this dropped this Saturday, March 18th, and ever since then, you know, pretty much every single other article has been about Drake or about More Life, and there's so much news around More Life, but we're gonna take a little bit and talk about some other things that were happening this past week that you may have missed. Starting off here, we have Chris Brown. You know, Chris Brown, you know, has been kind of, you know, doing some things. Not really been out there, you know, doing outlandish stuff, but about a month ago, he announced his tour that's called the Party Tour, which is probably the worst name of a tour I've ever heard in my life. But you know, that one will be accompanying 50 Cent and French Montana, so that's coming up here in a few weeks. But before that happens, we're getting something a little bit more closer to a few weeks out. He has since announced on his Twitter a brand new project. This is maybe, of course, probably an album. You know, I guess you can say that, but he didn't really, you know, explicitly say album, so I'm just gonna call it a project from now. He announced his new project. Now, he didn't release any, you know, inside information or any info about the album or project, whatever. All we know is that it is coming out exactly next week. And also, he says a little comment about this summer, which could, I guess, tie in to maybe the feel or the theme of the project, but who knows what it is. He says that, you know, this summer will be all about the ladies, you know, and all about the women. So maybe, you know, we could be getting maybe a beachy summertime feel album to it. Maybe we'll be getting that type of theme on this album, on this project, on the project Privacy by Chris Brown coming out next week. Who knows? But that was just a little tidbit we saw from Chris Brown this week. And honestly, man, I like Chris Brown. You know what I'm saying? You know, you can put aside, you know, the man, the Chris Brown, right? The one that, you know, is kind of disrespectful, the woman, all stuff like that. Well, not even kind of blatantly, you know, is, you know what I'm saying? You know, there is that part. But if we're talking about from a music standpoint, I definitely do love his music. I can't, you know, I can't hate on good music. I can't do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's good, it's good. I'm just gonna, you know, it is what it is. Doesn't matter who it's from. Doesn't matter, you know, really, you know, the background behind the person that makes the music. Bottom line, if we're talking in terms of music, Chris Brown is definitely up on my list in terms of R&B. So I'm pretty hyped for this project coming out next week. Next up here, you know, when you listen to a DJ Khaled Snapchat, right? When you go on the rabbit hole that is a hour-long, 2-hour-long DJ Khaled Snapchat story that he has pretty often, well, not hour, but, you know, pretty often, you know, very lengthy, you know, Snapchat story, you will hear him constantly tout against they, right? They don't want me to do this, so I'm gonna do this. They don't want me to have a son, so I'm gonna have a sod. They don't want me to have a nice pool, I'm gonna have a nice pool. You know, he's constantly doing things opposed to this entity that is they. And, you know, with the release of Rick Ross's new album this week, Rather You Than Me, he may have outed who exactly they is. Of course, Rick Ross's album, big, you know, hit. Obviously, I would definitely be reviewing it here in the coming weeks, but Rick Ross took the time to take a track and dedicate it to the wrongdoings of DJ Khaled. The track is called Idols Become Rivals, and he basically here lays out that, you know, that Birdman is basically who they is, right, to DJ Khaled. And then he lists all these things about how Birdman, you know, is very bad at business, is very, you know, very just not upfront about business, very sketchy, very undercut minded and stuff like that. And he is also unloyal, right? He has a lot of, you know, issues with loyalty and stuff like that in the industry, and he attributes having those two factors directly to DJ Khaled. How Birdman has done DJ Khaled wrong. He has, you know, just screwed him over and all these things like that, and really showed him a lot of disrespect. So, you know, with all these kind of coming together, people have been kind of speculating that, oh snap, like, is what DJ Khaled has been talking about they all these years, right? Could it be Birdman and his team? Could it be Birdman and Stunna? You know, could they be they, right? That's what a lot of people are coming to the conclusion to. And you know, the statements that Rick Ross actually said here on the track are very, very demeaning and very, very, you know, strong statements. And then, of course, Birdman quickly took to response in New Orleans, and he said that these are completely false, these are not true, these are all fabricated. And of course, you know, that's probably the response of someone that is guilty of these things, you know. And, you know, you would never admit, oh yeah, you know, I'm shady at business, oh yeah, you know, I you know, don't care about loyalty, you know. But just like, I feel like, you know, that would be obviously Birdman's response to this, of course, when you're being backed to a corner and being accused of these things. And, you know, it's kind of like, you know, with that response, these accusations are actually sounding a little bit like facts, and it kind of makes sense, man. Makes sense, yo. So this is true, that we know the true identity of they, and maybe DJ Khaled will have a response about this whole thing in a little bit. We haven't gotten anything as of this recording, but of course, if we do, I will hit you guys up and definitely touch back on this story. Next up here, PartyNextDoor, off of his release last year of PND3, a great commercial success. Everyone loves the album. I love the album personally. And, you know, he has been getting some rumblings here. You know, he's gotten to a little bit of beef with Nicki Minaj that we talked about last week. But as of last Thursday, he officially got veiled at the MTV Woodies Award. He got Songwriter of the Year. And it was a great big success. Obviously, PND was very proud of it. He took to Instagram to express his congratulations, everything, and thanks to all the, you know, supporters and everybody of his music. But then he also gave us a quick tidbit on what is to come in 2017. He said that there will be plenty of more music for the spring and summertime, so be lookout for that. And I am so hyped for that, man. Like, hearing him on More Life on Since Way Back, I think it's the track. I believe it's Since Way Back. That he did incredible on that album. He did incredible on More Life. He had a very strong verse, you know, very strong, obviously. And you know, he actually had a lot of time on that track. I believe, you know, other than maybe, I think, a few bars in between his part, he had a full, I think, 3 minutes of the 5 to 6 minute song that it is. You know, like, he had a very big chunk of that. And obviously, I feel like Drake would have done that, obviously, because, you know, it's PartyNextDoor. He's a part of OVO. You know, I feel like they have a great bond and great relationship. So obviously, Drake would have no mind in giving him half the song. But it was a very good performance, a very great, you know, verse on More Life. And I cannot wait to see what he comes next, because if, you know, if there's an artist that, you know, truly shines in the summertime, right? And especially we hear it now with his track Laser, I believe, with Nicki Minaj. Like, if we hear that, you know, that like vibey summer-esque song, we know that, you know, PartyNextDoor can kill summertime music. He can kill it. He can kill beach vibes. He can do it so good. And the fact that he's saying, hey, this is going to be a spring summertime album, give it to me. Give it to me, please. Now, what exactly, you know, this could mean per se, like, is this PND4, right? Is this going to be something where he's going to derive away from the numbering? You know, is he going to do that? Who knows? I guess we'll find out. Next up here, it is spring break here, at least in my state, Arizona, and, you know, pretty much half, I mean, really over half of the college kids went to Rocky Point, Mexico. I didn't, you know, I was stuck here working, grinding. You know how I do, guys. You know, I'm gonna have my vacation in the summertime. I'm gonna bring you guys along. We're gonna have some squad vacations again, and we're gonna do it big this year again. But beside the point, I didn't go, you know, to Mexico to spring break. Oh well, I wish I did. Who cares, right? But a lot of people did, and one of those people included Waka Flocka Flame. Now, Waka Flocka Flame didn't go to Rocky Point. He went to Puerto Vallarta. Oh, you like the accent, huh? And you know, he went with his boys. You know, he said he had a great time. He had a lot of, you know, good moments, whatever. However, on the finale of this vacation, right, as he was leaving, I guess the story goes he exited his hotel, and then he found his SUV on fire. There are pictures and videos up on his Instagram. It's kind of funny, but kind of sad, actually. And apparently this was, I guess, the ride to the airport, you know, from his hotel. I don't know if it was like a rent car, if it was like or if it was like Uber or whatever, but he walks out and the entire SUV is on fire, right? And then he also said that he lost his wallet, he lost his passport. So kind of a rough end to what he says was a great vacation to Mexico. So hey man, like, as long as he gets home back safe to the US, that's cool, everything's dandy. You know, those are material things that can be replaced. Nobody lost their lives. That's a great thing. But it was kind of funny to see that he walked out of his hotel and saw his SUV on fire. Another thing pertaining to cars and hip hop, it's kind of weird how, you know, these two kind of are somewhat similar, but not really. We have Chief Keef. Now, Chief Keef, man, he's been a character, right? He has, you know, been a crazy artist in the industry. He's reached great success. He has, you know, a lot of fame and everything. And with that, you know, he has a lot of cars, right? You would assume that a major hip-hop star, you know, in the industry right now has a ton of cars, ton of, you know, foreigns, some Lambos, whatever. And, you know, you would assume that, you know, since they're driving that car, you know, since they're driving all those cars, that they would be a legally registered licensed driver, right? You would assume that they would have their license in the state, they're doing it whatever, right? But that is actually not the case with Chief Keef. Chief Keef says that he's been driving for years without a license. He's been doing this, you know, with tons of cars, and apparently he's gotten away with it. Apparently he has gotten away with not using a license to drive a car. And he recently just got his driver's license in the state of California a few days ago. So that I thought was just kind of funny and kind of crazy. Like, how do you like plausibly get away with that? You know, I guess, you know, if you're really safe, if you're, you know, not, you know, if you're, you know, stopping at stop signs and, you know, just not breaking the law, breaking any street laws, I guess you can easily get away with it, because if you give no reason for the cops to pull you over, then why would they pull you over? You know what I'm saying? But I just find it crazy that, you know, just so weird that, you know, a young black man, you know, like with very, very nice cars didn't get pulled over by a cop. Like, isn't that, like, I don't know. You can, you know, put any sort of commentary that, you know, you want to into that, but I just thought that was extremely funny. Now, guys, check this out. We're going to dive into a very, very interesting story here that I don't know what this could mean. But we have a new Kanye West hoax here, right? Now, we don't know the legitimacy of this. We don't know what's happening. But I'm going to break it down the story to you as told by MTV News. Now, MTV News, right? They said that they got a package at their offices. Okay, the package, when opened, had another box inside it containing the NASA Propulsion Lab logo, I guess. It's some sort of, you know, like specific logo to NASA's, I guess, propulsion lab thing, I guess. That was in the box. And then in it, they had a VHS tape with some, I guess, Latin or Greek text, but when translated, that says one out of many, right? And that was what the VHS stated here. Along with a small pebble inside of a case. Is so weird. And then lastly, they got a credit card that was completely white with the text NASA Project 10, Kanye West 8 out of 10. And a long strain of numbers, right? But then when they put the numbers into, you know, at www.thesetofnumbers.com, they got this blank web page with just white static. Now, I didn't check on this for sure. I just read the article. I don't know if this is still up. You know what I'm saying? You guys can, you know, go ahead and go free and go off and do it yourself. Just look on yourself on the article, and you can definitely go look at the URL. But I don't know if it's still up. I just presume it'd be down by now. I don't know. It just seems so weird. But I mean, who knows? It might be up. Go ahead, check on it. And then also when MTV News put in the VHS tape and played it, it was the same white static noise. You know what I'm saying? And so very, very weird things. It was 3 hours worth of it. It was 3 hours worth of the white static noise that is also on the website. So MTV News did their due diligence, contacted NASA. They said they had nothing to do with it. They have no idea what this package is. They contacted Kanye West and his team, and they also denied that they sent this. They have no idea where it's coming from. So a lot of people are saying, okay, you know what, and even MTV News is saying, hey, this is just a hoax, it's just whatever. But a lot of fans are being skeptical, just like I like, and they are buying into this whole Kanye narrative here. And they're saying that because on the credit card it says Project 10, this could mean that this is the start of Kanye West outing his 10th album, right? And you know, if you count Watch the Throne, if you count Cruel Summer, this would technically be Kanye West's 10th project. So who knows what this is going to happen to. Is this the start of TurboGrafx 16? That's what I'm feeling like this could be. We have talked about this plenty of times on the channel. We have talked about Kanye West's next alleged album, TurboGrafx 16. You know, we have talked about it, you know, to the moon. But could this really be it? Like, could this really be a hoax? Is this just fake? Is this really Kanye just being a mastermind doing his thing? Who knows? I guess we'll find out here in the coming weeks. WorldStarHipHop, man. We all love the website. We all know it. You know, it stretches far back in hip-hop history, but the founder of that has died. WorldStar is home to a bunch of, you know, music news, bunch of Sunday candy pictures and all that stuff. But it's also home to fights. We all know that, you know what I'm saying? A bunch of high school fights, hood fights, gang fights, whatever. But the creator of the actual website has sadly passed away. His name was Lee Q.O. Dennis, I believe is how you pronounce it, and he died of natural causes, of morbid obesity, and of plaque buildup around his heart. You know what I'm saying? And at the time of his death, he weighed 345 pounds, so he was, you know, very, very heavy. And you know, that's just, you know, hey man, this is just a little testament to, hey man, like, you know, it happens, man. It's not his fault technically, but you know, take care of yourself, good health, more life. R.I.P. bro. I love you, man. Thank you for WorldStar. And the last thing I want to touch on here, you know, with all this more life news, right? I want to hone in on one single thing here, right? I'm going to go on a little bit of a rant here. I don't know how long it's going to take. It might take a little bit, it might take a lot, but I'm going to go on this rant here. Now, we reported a few weeks ago that the Weeknd was official on More Life, right? He was in the iTunes bio of the actual More Life album, and as far as I can tell, I've been searching on different articles, and I have not heard an update off of that. I've not heard that that was fake. I've not heard that that was a mistake, whatever. But we get More Life on Saturday. We're all hyped, we're all crazy. But I'm looking through the track list. The Weeknd's not on there. He's not. He's not on there. And I have, you know, kind of looked at, you know, the actual producers that worked on it, and I have not seen him mentioned at all anywhere. So this leads me to kind of a weird spot here. It's like, we had pictures, we had Snapchats, we had videos of them two working in the studio. We had plenty of evidence that they are working on something, We are presumed that it was More Life, right? You know, like, I feel like a little bit too early, and maybe, you know, the Weeknd's a little bit too busy to be working on this next project after Starboy, because he's on tour right now. He's kind of busy, right? So I feel like he wouldn't be working on stuff right now. But with Drake in the process of working on More Life at that current stage, it was pretty obvious that, yeah, obviously the Weeknd's gonna be on More Life. We get More Life, he's not on there. What could this mean, guys? What does this mean, right? We have Drake and the Weeknd touting OVOXO again. We have all this evidence that points directly to the Weeknd being on More Life. More Life drops, he's not on it. We don't know what happens. Could this mean, this is a long stretch, guys. Guys, this is a very, very long stretch, but could this mean that there is a joint project with Drake and the Weeknd coming out at some point, right? It doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be long. It could maybe the same, maybe the same 12-track, you know, size as What Time to Be Alive with Drake and Future. Maybe it could be that type of thing, right? Maybe it's gonna be just a pop-up, right? Could this happen? Could this happen? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you think we are getting an OVOXO EP mixtape type of thing? Maybe in the summer, maybe in the fall, sometime in 2017. Do you think that is going to happen? Let me know in the comments below. And while you are down there, check out my description. You can find my Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, all pages of you doing. Thanks for watching, and as always, I got you.